Hi, I'm Professor Ryan Heintzman with Arizona State University School of Geographical Sciences and Urban Planning. I'm one of the nearly 2 dozen authors of the Phoenix Dust Scale study that was published with about 13 other organizations across the Phoenix metro area. In this quick tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use our website, which can be found at phoenixdust.asu.edu. And this will be the place where you can find information on our past dust storms, as well as the most recent dust storm, probably about a day after the event takes place. All right, so when you go to phoenixdust.asu.edu, this is the web page that you will first encounter. It has a lot of information about the dust scale itself, including the primary categories, which are aligned with dust concentrations of PM10, which is basically just a dust particulate from 1 to 5 in terms of 1,000 to 5,000 micrograms per cubic meter, basically how much dust is in a given volume of air. But there are also subcategories that we look at within the Phoenix dust scale that are tied to different aspects of these events, such as the spatial coverage, how much of the Phoenix metro area was impacted by these dust events in terms of the total number of stations that we have impacted, the duration, how long did we have dust storm effects over the Phoenix metro area, as well as the wind gust, how or were there large wind gust events across the valley? And so what you can do here within the website is take a look at this. You can look at our study as well, read the study that was published in the Bulletin of the American Meteorological Society. But the big one is likely going to be tied to utilizing this Phoenix Dust dashboard, which will be updated ideally about 24 hours after the dust storm event occurs. And it's not really meant as a forecast. It's a post-event analysis that we have here. But what this dashboard does is it's a pretty powerful tool that will allow you to look through the history of the data that we have for these dust events back to about 2010. And so you can access it from this website. Usually it's going to be best to have it on a web browser, not your phone. But I'm going to open it up here with this launch this dashboard on a separate window because it works a little bit better there. Okay. And so what you see when you first load this up will be the most recent event. We actually had a small dust storm, a Category 1 dust storm on March 29th of this year. But this should be updated within 24 hours after the event, and that'll be the new dust storm. And what you can do is you can click through, select storm by date, and look through all of our archived dust storm events. I'm going to go to an iconic one, the July 5th, 2011 dust storm, which was a Category 5 with over 6,000 micrograms per cubic meter of dust, kind of in the North Phoenix area. And so what you're looking at with this dashboard is the network of stations that are available across the Phoenix metro area. And all of these numbers that you see are basically the peak concentration of dust for each one of those sites that we have. Sometimes the sites might change here or there, but this is the peak concentration that we have for the sites across the Phoenix metro area. And so you can look at kind of different parts of your neighborhood and see what type of event your region of Phoenix was impacted by. I'll go to one here a little bit more recent that was also a Category 5 on September 3rd of last year. And this one shows, once again, the peak here was kind of South Phoenix, but this was a Category 5 widespread, long duration, and high wind gust event. And so we have these concentrations across the Phoenix metro, and you can see these color scales align with this PM10 dust concentration down here. And then this color scale from 1 to 5 aligns with the Phoenix dust primary category. And then you have these secondary categories as well that are tied to those things like spatial coverage, what percent of the stations were over a certain threshold, what was the duration of the event exceeding that threshold, and what was the peak wind gust, were they over 25 miles per hour. In this case, for this storm, it was a Category 5 widespread, long duration, and high wind gust event. So I hope that you will be able to access this website and use it after these dust storms come through. And you can also visit our website, phoenixdust.asu.edu, to also submit any pictures that you have of these events. They might be used for some of our outreach and potentially future research. So hope you enjoy the website and have a great summer.